Good morning, everyone. Mike Carey from Northwest Fishing Reports. We're here on the Snohomish River. We're fishing with Brianna Bruce of Livin Life Adventures. Brianna, there's fish jumping all around us.
There's lots of fish. We've got pinks in the river right now. We're starting to see some coho. We're supposed to get a lot of pinks this year, and the fishing's been really great so far.
I can feel it. I think we're going to have a good day, so stay tuned. You're watching Northwest Fishing Reports.
Everything in this boat rattles. Sorry. So we're gonna idle up through all the logs here, and I've got a spot up here that I like to fish. We're gonna go anchor up. The tide's still coming in, so the boat won't stay in line with the anchor great to start off with, but there's fish everywhere, so it doesn't really matter. We're gonna start off with jigs. And we're ready to fish. Today we're gonna fish jigs and we're gonna fish Dick Knight spoons for pinks. The jigs are super simple. You don't need a really elaborate setup or anything, or even a really high-end rod. These are just 7-foot, 4 to 10 pound rods. I have 15-pound Power Pro Super Slick on my reels. Just a 2,000 to 3,000 size reel is perfect, and I tie straight to my jig. Using 15-pound braid, I'm able to not have stretch with my line, but I can still break it at the knot if I get stuck, instead of having to cut line and leave a bunch of braid in the water. So with a jig, we tie straight to the line. With a Dick Knight, we have a 3-way swivel, a bass weight, or whatever kind of weight you want to use, a leader to my Dick Knight. And I always fish number 1s for pinks and coho and everything else. I just like fishing number 1s. But same setup works for those. Or with Dick Knights, sometimes I'll like a longer rod. Makes it a little easier to cast the longer leaders. With a jig, we're gonna be twitching the jigs for the pinks. So we're going to cast out. And where we're fishing right now is about 12 feet deep. So I let it sink a little bit, reel up my slack. I do 1 jig, 1 reel, and I drop my rod, let it sink for a second. 1 jig, 1 reel, let it sink. And then you turn that into a more fluid motion. So a jig, reel, and just like that. You don't need to make big jigs. You don't want to consistently reel. You just want a nice twitch and just kind of reel up your slack, or a little less than your slack. The fish will bite it as the jig falls. So you want the jig going up and down, and as the jig falls, the fish will bite. And when you pick up, it'll just feel heavy. You want to set the hook, because that's a fish. And I like to tell people, I'd rather have you set the hook on a log than miss a fish because you thought it was a log. We can get these jigs out of the logs pretty easily, or with this 15-pound braid, we can break them off. But just a nice, consistent jig like this, and you can change it. You can do some smaller, faster ones, or you can do some slower, a little bit bigger ones, and figure out what they want that day.
Big old hen.
Really nice hen.
That's a beautiful fish.
I love them in the morning.
Back.
Looks like a nice humpy. Here he goes.
You've never done this in the river, huh?
No, this is my first time catching them in the river, at least on a boat. Fished from shore plenty, but first time on a sled. Right. Oh, he didn't like the net.
They don't like the net.
There we go.
Kind of like tuna, where you say, you see your fish and nobody pays attention to you until like the third time.
Here he goes again. right, here he goes.
There we go.
There we go. One in the net.
Good job.
This is a buck.
Wow.
Do you wanna keep him?
What do you think?
He looks like he's in good shape.
Okay.
Bucks tend to eat better than hens
Sure.
do.
I'll keep the buck. All right. First salmon here on the Snohomish River. First fish of the day. Just a beautiful buck.
Nice, bright buck still. I mean, bright for the river. Does he have any sea lice on him? Let's see.
Whoop. Guess I need to bonk him one more time.
One more time. No sea lice on that guy, but
Yeah.
he's in good shape for up here. Nice size one.
Yeah, it's a beautiful buck out here. Super exciting to catch my first fish out here on the Snohomish.
Fantastic.
Let's go catch some more.
Brianna, we've run upriver, what, about a mile or so?
Yeah, about a mile or two.
So I've fished this area before, but for our viewers, what do you call this particular spot?
So we call this area Dug Bar, and we call that because this is Dug Bar right here, the gravel bar, which is a private access. You can get a key and come down here. This is kind of the first spot the fish will slow down and kind of start to hold, and there's a lot of wood and that around. So they'll come upriver with the tide, and this is the first spot they'll kind of hang out. So fishing's usually good here, kind of no matter what the tide is. You just have to watch it if you can get up and down.
Yep. So people with prop boats, you can get up here. You got to be really careful.
You got to be really careful. You got to watch the tide.
Yeah.
Tide charts are important up here.
Very much.
I think like that would be your favorite.
Little bump.
Fish number 3. Randy's on fish number 3. How does he feel? We haven't even been out here about 20 minutes and we're already on to our third fish. Bite's really good out here on the Snohomish. Wow, look at him run. There he goes.
They went in the boat, it's fine. Oh! You know, extra action.
That's funny.
There we go.
It's a humpy Coho. Jumping and butt all over the place.
Fish number 3 looks like another nice buck.
Nice buck. There are a ton of snags up here, and if you're not getting snagged up, you're not fishing where the fish are hanging out. These fish love to hang around wood, rocks, stumps, structure. It's almost like bass fishing. You want to make sure you bring plenty of tackle when you're up here, because you will lose jigs and dick nights, and you'll lose all kinds of stuff. I like to come up with a little variety of stuff like jigs and dick nights and maybe some spinners, things like that. And as the tide changes, you can try different techniques. A lot of times when the fish have seen something a few times, the bite will slow down like it has now. So if you go from jigs to a dick night, they'll start biting again and give you a chance at some more fish.
That wasn't too hard. First cast, fish right away. Brianna, this is a blast.
Isn't it fun? These fish, pound for pound, put up some of the best fights.
Oh, it's amazing.
Definitely something a family could come out and have a fun day with you
Easily.
catching these fish.
That's one of my favorite things about this out here. The technique is so easy. You get some kids out here and they can manage to hook their own fish. And when you get a hook and land your own fish, snag.
Snag.
There we
There's
go.
mine.
Nice hen.
Yeah, it's got some nice chrome to it too. I saw a little flash of
I like it
brightness
when
there.
they're still a little blingy.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Sun is just coming up over the horizon over there. Nice. She's going to be going to the smoker,
Yes.
but you get them bright like that, and if you take good care of them,
Absolutely.
They're good on the barbecue too, aren't
They're
they?
great on the barbecue. One thing is that they're not as strongly like salmon flavored as say a Chinook.
Yeah.
So if you like to do something that has flavor like teriyaki or miso or, you know, garlic, they take the flavor really well. And that's one of the reasons they're so good smoked too. You actually get to taste your brine instead of just fish.
Yeah.
So we bleed them
Nice.
and I just rip a gill
That's a snag.
and put it in the bleed bucket. It's getting a little full.
Yeah.
And then we'll put them on ice once they're bled. And we'll keep them, I've got a bunch of ice in the kill bag. We'll keep them nice and cold for the day. We'll flay them before you head home and they'll make really good smoker or on the barbecue, anything like that. Flashing me. There we go.
Great.
Another nice hen.
I'm not going to use.
All right. Just the chaos of pink fishing out here.
They go a little crazy.
They do. Can't keep them off the hook.
There we go.
In the net.
Nice hen for you.
Yeah. I was just saying I wanted a hen so I could get some eggs. That's perfect.
Get out of there. That's why we like knotless nets.
Here we go. Fish number 3. Nice little hen.
I can swim.
Okay.
I'd probably say about maybe a 3-4 pounder, pretty solid. Get some nice eggs out of her. Some of the fish we've been catching today have actually had sea lice on them, so they're pretty nice and fresh. As Brianna was mentioning, this is a tidal fishery, right?
Yeah. So these fish will push up on the tide as it comes in, and when the tide goes out, you'll see them start to hold and hang out in some holes. So we've got fish here all the time. We're actually right at the top of the incoming tide right now. So we have all these fresh fish that pushed up last night, and they're just starting to find their pockets that they're going to hold in for the rest of the day.
Fish on. Well, the action slowed down a little bit from crack of dawn bite, but look at that. Oh, that's a beautiful hen. Again, a lot of nice chrome on these fish. This will hold up for a few more weeks, won't it?
Yep, absolutely. The river is open until September 19th, and we'll have good fish all the way through there. We'll have fish that are coming up with each tide.
Now, as they get bigger, we haven't seen any Humpys yet, but as they're in here longer, those males get that distinctive hump.
Yeah, you'll start to see them get really humped up, and they'll get more green on them. They won't have any shiny chrome scales on them anymore, but they get to be pretty cool looking.
All right, this is cool looking. Looks like this guy's run into a little something.
Met a seal somewhere along the way.
Yeah. Got that right near the boat on the drop.
Yep, you want to make sure you fish all the way up to the boat or all the way up to your feet. Those fish will follow it for a ways, and it's really fun to watch them hit the jig right at your feet.
Yeah. And that's what this one did. Very cool. Beautiful Snohomish pink.
Nice hen. We'll get some eggs out of that. And she's got some sea lice.
Sea lice and a little damage maybe from something out there wanted her.
Seal or an eagle, something.
We're taking a little break from the action as we're picking up another angler, Ryan Hembry, the owner of Skip Rock Distillers here in Snohomish. So we'll have another guy on board for more action with these pinks after the break.
All right, let's hit the water. Let's do it.
Ryan, that didn't take too long.
No, I think, what, 2 minutes in, if that?
Sorry, Mike.
That's a nice one.
Yeah. All right, which side do you want it on?
Right here's fine.
Still got a little life in it. Stay with me.
There we go.
All right.
That's a nice one.
Yeah, I'll take that. Thank you.
Bree, the tide has turned, as they say, and we've got some current now, so we're switching up techniques, going to a Dick Night setup.
Yep. So once we get some good current, it allows us to kind of drift fish some Dick Nights, and it's going to allow us to target coho a little bit better than the humpy jigs do. And we've got some early ones moving in now. So my very favorite Dick Night is a #1 nickelback frog or the #1 50/50s. And I run these on 3, 4, sometimes a 5-foot leader with a little bit of weight. And the ticket here is you use less weight than you would if you were drifting corky and yarn, because you don't want it dragging across the bottom. You just want it right in that bottom zone. So it might touch every once in a while, but not too often like you would want a corky and yarn to drift. And all we're gonna do is perpendicular to the boat here, we're gonna cast out, and you always wanna watch your back cast with these because you have your leader.
Especially when I'm in the picture.
You're all right. So we're gonna cast out, and I always start straight out and see how my current's doing. And I'm gonna reel up my slack, and I'm just gonna let it swing. If I have enough current here, I've got a little bit, it's still a little slow, so I'm just gonna reel really slowly as it swings. And when it gets down here, I'm gonna let it swing just like corky and yarn would. And with the Dick Nights, you're gonna get a little bite. You'll feel a bite unlike the jigs, where you'll get a little tick tick, and you're gonna set the hook. Sometimes they'll come up and grab it and run with it, but you wanna set the hook when you feel that little bit of bite, and then you got a fight on your hands.
And I can speak from personal experience. Sometimes you'll cast out, the second that spoon hits the water, that fish will hit it, it'll be fish on.
Yes.
Which is pretty awesome to have happen. So
They're my favorite way to fish in the river.
Absolutely.
And you can target everything. I even catch steelhead on them. On this river, we have a 4 fish limit, and it's written as a 4 salmon limit. And you can keep pinks or you can keep hatchery coho. So if it's a wild coho, you have to let it go. Chinook, you have to let go. But you could have 4 pinks, you could have 4 hatchery coho, or any combination of that. But you can only have up to 4 fish.
a lot of people get a little confused with that. They get a little confused with that rule.
Normally we have a bonus limit of pinks. So you can have like 2 coho and you can have 2 bonus pinks, where you couldn't have 4 coho, but you could have 4 pinks. This year on the Snohomish here, they're giving us, if you can find 4 hatchery coho, you can keep.
Oh, come on. It's a Humpy. He's not going to take me around the boat, is he?
Sure he will. There we go.
There will be
Get
more.
the next one.
Oh, what a buck.
Now look at the coloring on this.
So this one is starting to turn a little more. So you can see it's got the white spots on its belly and it's starting to get
Starting to get
green,
a
and
little
it's
bit of a hump.
barely getting a hump. That hump, when they're upriver further, it'll come way up.
Thus be why we call it
A
a
humpy.
Humpy. And look at the big old spots on his tail.
You can see those really clearly.
Not huge, but it's got a nice little fight. Come on. Really pretty.
That's
That's
Cromer.
great. Look at that.
That's
Oh. boats can fight.
That's right.
That's
That thing just got in the river.
Ready.
Good job.
Yeah, beautiful.
I thought it might have been a coho at first.
That first flash I
No,
saw.
I saw it too.
Gotta make the noise.
Is there anything on the other side?
No. That's nice and bright. Sweet.
We got a hook set.
Yeah, that is not going anywhere.
Whoa, go fish, go. Brianna, if our viewers want to go fishing with you, how do they get hold of you?
Facebook is great, Livin Life Adventures. Instagram, email, gofish@livinlifeadventures.com. That's livin without the G. Or my phone number is 206-714-2112.
Yeah, I got to get back to catching this fish. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you guys on the water. Come on, fish.